Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to another night of racing here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. I'm John Rallis, back from my adventures in the United States, and happy to be alongside my co-host, the Hall of Famer Randy Waples, and some flight woes for me yesterday, so I appreciate you holding down the fort solo. I saw you held down the fort solo both nights, though, Friday and Saturday. But I know you weren't expecting to be all alone last night, though.
There used to be a song called "The Traveling Man." Every time I hear that song, I think
song.
of you.
It's my theme song.
That is your
now.
theme song. That's right. There used to be a show too, Littlest Hobo there or something. There was a dog there that used to go around traveling all over the place there, or whatever. You are a traveling man.
Traveling man, but well, lucky traveling to do what you love.
Do what you like to do.
Do what you love.
For
so,
sure. And you had a good weekend down there too. You gave out some nice. You gave out some nice numbers.
Yeah, gave out some good winners there, luckily. But just have fun chopping it up with anybody, right? The same way you and I do it. I love chopping it up with the crew over there. Love seeing the guys over there too, right? You know, obviously when you get to go there, you know, on a monthly basis, you catch up with everybody. We see the young contingent of drivers now plying their trade there as the you know, top Grand Circuit guys kind of take these winter months off. But I'll tell you what, Beckwith has had a wicked good last couple of weekends. 11 wins last week, 11 wins this past weekend too. So things are rolling for him.
Oh, that's for sure too. Hey, is that I seen on the news down there? Were you trying out for the Knicks?
I was not. No, I was not.
I would have swore I seen you out on the basketball court.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, a couple falters though. Yeah, I need to know how to finish with my left.
Is that what the problem was? It was a nice move you made.
Nice move, but I need to learn how to finish left. Man, you can't go right when I'm on that side of the floor. Jeez, my coach would have been terrible at me, but man, am I out of shape? I'll tell you that much. I am out of shape.
Really?
Oh, big time.
Yeah, it was nice moves though.
Nice moves.
Moves.
I still have it once in a while.
Yeah. You're kind of like a little Spud Webb thing going on out there. I think they maybe underestimate the little guy sometimes.
They see a small, out of shape guy and they figure out what kind of damage can he do. Don't, you know, like you said, don't judge a book by its cover, right?
That's right.
All right. So, but it was fun over there. I'm sure it was fun here. Anything stand out to you over the past few days, though, Randy, in particular?
I mean, honest to God, John, the biggest thing that stood out to me was we had good racing.
Yep.
We really had some seriously good racing. Lots of movement going on, and you know, it just I was more or less just proud of the fact that the racing was just sensational.
And you had a couple of nice winners as well too. I know two that you went back to that had success. What was it? I'm drawing a blank. Halmac Victor. Miss Quicksand, one that you also went back to. Both of them able to deliver solid numbers too. So they raced really well. You were on them a week early. They didn't deliver, but you came right back and they were able to reward you.
Miss Quicksand was 20-1 the week before.
Yeah, but then there was 3 or 4 lead changes, right?
Yeah.
As soon as she touched down to the lead, 3 lead changes. Trevor couldn't get out. I mean, the Halmac Victor, just a tough trip there, loaded with pace with Turcotte. You know, it's amazing because I watched the race and it's something you've taught me. It's all these years watching races.
I know what you're gonna say.
You know, I didn't realize that. You keep mentioning it. Sometimes I don't realize when other horses can just kind of push them along, because it looked to me like Halmac Victor was done.
He didn't even look like he was going to hit the ticket.
He was coming on the outside. It wasn't Shane's Dream. It was Dougie's Charge, HF Pan Shadow.
Right, and looked like he was going to blow right on by, but all he did was push Halmac Victor back across the wire.
Just unbelievable.
It is
just never really seen a horse come on like that that late in the mile yet again, because I thought
me too.
I thought Louis had them put away.
Me too, 100%. That's exactly what I thought too. And then when I seen Dougie coming hard, I'm thinking to myself, well, Dougie's going to win, but he's going to move me into second, and then all of a sudden, you know, he moved me into the first, and he ended up, I think, second or third.
Tarasi won his third. Was it his third?
I think
Open?
third in a row.
Third in a row. He's back to his old self. And Brew Hanover looked a lot better.
He did. Yeah, it did. You know, I mean, Dougie had James in kind of a tricky spot. You know, he's on his back. He's got to get him out, so he unfortunately has to kind of back out around the horse that's first over, move to the outside, and the second that he did that, McNair took off with the other horse. So it was a sharp drive on Dougie's part.
Absolutely. And so a nice weekend there that we've had over the last few days. We're going to wrap up, like Chad mentioned, our racing weekend. We're going to wrap it up with a carryover. Nice carryover opportunity, which we're excited about, a pick 6 carryover. That was a good pool last night, over $9,000. So we're going to be looking at just shy of $8,000 in, you know, carried over money tonight. So that's going to be a seeded pool. Yeah, seed money. Very, very enticing there, without a doubt. And I like this card. I think this is a pretty sharp card tonight. I think there's some possibilities.
Yeah, it doesn't have maybe the depth of other cards that we've seen, but it's tricky.
Yeah, it's
tricky in a good way.
I think things get awfully tricky in race number 1. We'll get to that momentarily. But as we always do on Monday, we want to look back at some driver standings and trainer standings. So curious to see who's going to pop up on this driver's board, because I'm not really sure. I haven't been watching intently the last few nights, so curious to see who's going to make our top 5 as far as the trainers and the standings. So
here we go.
There it is. James McDonald leading the way. Surprise. How about J.R. Plant?
Yes.
He's always appreciative every time he hits this board. But look, he's making the most of his opportunities. He puts horses in really good spots as well. He's going to have some live ones to sit behind tonight, yet against Miles for Miles. I think he's got that ready for landing tonight. So JR, over 20% win percentage for him. Kudos to JR Plant. And, of course, Doug McNair and Louis Waugh, two of the best that we have on our circuit as well. So just another ho-hum week for 3 of them. But nice to see JR Plant on that list as well.
It is, yeah. He works hard at it, and he's really starting to, really pick up the subtleties of this track, the sitting in and the patience and all that kind of stuff that kind of comes with it. I'll tell you another guy that's going to pop up on that list real soon. And, boy, does he ever look good since he's come back. Like, really looks good out there. McClure.
Big time,
yeah, he does. And now there's another one. What about Elmo? Big effort put up by him as well.
Yeah, nice effort by him, yep.
Yeah, it's nice having him back.
Absolutely.
Horses respond to Bobby, and he puts them in good spots. So when they do respond, he's dangerous.
Yeah, just doesn't have the volume just yet coming back where he can kind of find his way onto the board. But once the volume keeps coming, we know for sure Bob's going to be a fixture there. I'm sure we're going to look at some trainers here. Gary Murner, Kyle Fellows. And how about the other two? Dave Kelly and Jean-Francois Maguire. We obviously know JF Maguire, his barn, anything especially going to his barn, some new stock merits a lot of respect. How about Devil's Arch? He was racing poorly for about a few weeks. How about those victories the last couple of starts for Devil's Arch? Just a sharp efforts by him.
He's like in that class right now.
Can't believe he paid $8 last night, given the fact that he beat Ghostly Casper handedly, and Ghostly Casper was the favorite last night. I was surprised by that.
Me too, and he had the post advantage. And you know, that's the big thing with Devil's Arch is where he draws. He draws middle of the gate, and you got a good horse on the outside of him. He's either going to sit on his back or he's going to beat him to it.
Another name to take note of as well, Dave Kelly,
really
who's playing his trade here in Ontario now, obviously driving his own and training his own as well. And look, his horses have been racing sharp. He had a sharp victory last night, I believe. Did he have one? Yeah, he did have a sharp victory last night with one of those claimers, I think.
Yeah.
He had one racing off a qualifier who was solid. That one from the rail that Chad profiled as one of his qualifier reports. And yeah, just his horses have been racing really well. So he's going to, I mean, if he starts getting a nice little rhythm here with some of his horses, it's a nice new addition here to the circuit, especially when you're bringing on some nice horses to add to our product as well.
Yeah, and that's the part that I kind of like about him too. His horses are racing good, but honestly, John, have you seen him make a mistake out there yet? Me neither. Not one time have I seen this guy put a horse in a bad spot or do something that he shouldn't have done or anything. Everything's smooth with this
one
guy.
I thought that would race really well last night, given the mile that he went last time out, though, was I don't quite remember the race all that well. Don't remember if he was able to get any room or any air, but that show stop, I mean, went like obviously having to avoid all that the scattered field in that race on Sunday night. For him to be able to make up all that ground and get the job done. I was expecting a big effort from him last night, but he wasn't able to hit the ticket, though. But, again, his horses have been sharp.
Yeah, they have. And like I said, I just like the way that he goes about his business there. Very smooth.
All right, so we're going to try and guide you guys nice and smoothly here on the rest of the pre-show. And we're going to try and provide some good little tidbits, good info, and some nice perspective here from my Hall of Fame co-host. And we're going to start things off in race number 1. And like I mentioned, a significant scratch in the opener, Randy, because a tie game, one that I factored in last time out here, shipping in from Rideau Carleton, was a good second. But now he's going to be scratched in this event. What do you do in the opener here? Because I think a lot of people are going to rely on him. Nobody else is worthy of maybe trusting per se. So I'm going to inherit a single. I went too deep. I'm going to inherit the 4 horse as my top choice here. 2-year-old daughter of Muscle Mass, Antoinella, who raced really, I thought, sneaky good in her debut. Really was never a factor, but I thought she was moving really well on the end of it. That being said, she's still a 2-year-old filly facing older rivals. But can you make a case for somebody to take a stand on in here? Because I find it tough.
It's tough. There's no doubt about it. Dulcis Wales Daniels probably looks on paper like the one that's the logical one to win, but 0 for 21 so far in her career. Just has a qualifying mark of 2-1, but so many times, like she's been in 56, 57, good last quarters. She shows so much. I'm thinking that this is her race to win. If she's, you know what I mean? I think they got all the bases covered on her, and it's time for Dulcis Wales Daniels to Adeo to graduate. Now, I can honestly tell you that I'm inheriting her because I had her in for second. I was going to go tie game in here up on top. But I think the only way that to me, the most logical way is I like the 3. I like the 4, the one that you like, Antonella. I agree with you, but I'm just a little scared with Bert driving her. You know, is he going to put her into play second lifetime start? I don't know if that's going to happen. That's only Bert would really know that. I am also going to throw in on my pick 5. I'm going to now use the 5 horse as part of my ticket too. I think she could be a little bit dangerous, and the 8 horse. Now, the problem with the 8 horse that I got is I wouldn't have any problem whatsoever going back to Banks A Million after that first race that she had here. It was a good one. Real nice effort. But I kind of thought that the last one there, she got a really nice trip from Daryl and just didn't have what I thought she would have on the end of it. Now, there could be reasons for that. She's already won a race at Clinton, so you know, my new numbers are going to be 3, 4, 5, and 8 in here. That's about the best that I could do. I did have resolved issues on my ticket last week, and he did end up finishing 4th in there. Multiple moves, but I just don't know if I trust him from the 9 hole. It just seems to me like he's a horse that's just gradually kind of starting to learn it. You know what I mean? And if they get a little too cute with him from the 9 hole, he's going to be, in my opinion, in a position where maybe he's not going to have his best race.
Still looks like a horse that doesn't want to pass with conviction because Tyler Bowe tried to power move him to the lead last time out, and he did not want to go by.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think
learning.
There was no wrestling from the pace setter there. It was resolved issues, did not want to go by whatsoever. So I agree with you. I think he's tough to trust at a short price. Even your, the pick you're going to inherit. Look, the horse has been racing well on paper, better than anybody else. But that 0 for 21 is pretty glaring, right? That's the thing. It's pretty glaring. So for me, the one good thing about Julie Walker's filly, no strikes.
Yes.
No strikes. Again. Well, just one strike. And I don't even call that a strike per se because that was her first lifetime start last time.
We expected it.
We expected that, right?
Yeah.
I know you and I both
And listen, it
expected
might
that.
happen again tonight because we don't know how she felt behind the gate. Like maybe she's one of those. Bert's in the same situation with her as what we're seeing Billy Davis with that Sean Stacy colt.
Bejon Firefly.
Yeah, he's just learning the game, and sometimes when a horse wants to do what they want out there, and you know it's the wrong thing, you kind of get into a bit of a wrestling match with them. You kind of sometimes don't have them in the place where you want to do. So maybe Bert wasn't happy with the way she came back. Maybe she was still kind of fired up, and he's saying to himself, hey, I got to do this one more time, and then, I can start to move forward again. So we're not 100% sure. It's hard to take a horse that only you've seen the one lifetime start, showed talent, but, what are they ready to do, this time? So I'm just going to throw her in as a part of it.
Yeah, like I said, she was sneaky good on the end of it, though. If you really focus on the way she was trotting late in the mile, the line doesn't look appealing whatsoever. But she had some go on the end of it. One that I'm excited to see here put forth her effort tonight. We're going to move on to race number 2, field of 8 going postward here. Smiles for Miles has been the sharpest horse in this field, I'd say. Randy, look at his last several efforts. Was 3rd last time out. Wasn't really much of a factor, but just continues to take support here. And he just loves to do his job on the big track, that's for sure. He's going to likely be the favorite in this spot, deservedly so. I think a couple to his inside have been racing really well as well. Ambitious Mind as well as Aragonite. But you're going to try a bit of value shopping here in a horse that I didn't factor in whatsoever tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to go Southwind Circuit on this. Kind of an interesting horse, I would guess, So last week, Travis Henry was the driver of this guy, and we're going to show you the replay of him. I thought December, the first line was an okay one. You moved him a little bit to the outside around the last turn, and he come home in 28-1. So I didn't think that was bad. First start back. First start off of the qualifier, and then last week he had the 7 hole. He went to the back, but to me, I think he was liver at different points than what we ended up seeing. Now, Jason, is this the one where we're showing the entire last turn on this replay? Okay, cool. Let's fire this one up. And so here we go. So Travis Henry is going to be driving Southwind Circuit. He had the 7 hole. You can see him at the back, second last on the end of it. And at this point, I say he's live. And the reason that there's going to be a couple of these ones that I show you tonight, we're going to use the whole turn because look at the body language here on Travis. I mean, he's not asking this horse. He's just sitting there with shoulders back, letting this guy come along. And, at this point, nothing much is happening. But here we start to see the side to side. He's looking for room. He's up and down, looking all over, to the inside, to the outside. Where do I put him? He's got nowhere to go. Now he's locked up down the back here. He's got nowhere to go. Finds a small seam down here. What does he do with it? Is he going to go through or not? He does go through with it, but right here, it's over. Nothing else happens at this point. So, they made a driver change. They put Jonathan Drury on him. JD's going to stick with Labarre for Carmasiello. Daryl Thiessen picking up what I think could be a live drive in here. So I'm going to take a chance with Southwind Circuit. I know Smiles for Miles is going to be tough to beat, John, but if I'm going to take a poke at him, I'd like to do it with an outside draw and with a bit of a stale date. December the 1st was his last race, so I'm kind of hoping that maybe this guy will be good. And the other thing with Southwind Circuit, he's a 4-year-old better's delight, but he went in 51 over Grand River last year, so the speed is there.
Yeah, you're going to get paid if he gets the job done, that's for sure. You're going to get paid because I think a lot of people are going to factor in Ambitious Mine or Agonite, as well as Smiles for Miles. I think those are likely the horses that the betting public's going to gravitate to, deservedly so. I mean, they've been sharp, but Southland Circuit, like I said, you're going to get double digits on him, and you're going to get paid in a big, big way if he gets the job done. There's our thoughts on race number 2. Going to move on to race number 4, and that's the first leg of that pick 6 sequence. Again, a carryover of over $7,800, a sequence that I'm really enticed by. I think many of us should be. That's a nice little carryover number going into tonight's pool, and I think it's a pretty intriguing sequence, and I think this first leg is pretty intriguing as well. I know you liked Stovid last time out, though, Randy. She got bet down in a big, big way. I thought you should have finished off that mile last time out, personally. I think she was pretty tired, given the breather that Doug gave her, what was a middle half of about a minute and change. I mean, really, really soft middle half there. I thought a few others in there were moving quite well at the end of it, including French Vodka and YS Queen Beth. I'm curious to know where you went in this race.
Well, unfortunately for YS Queen Beth, even though I do like her in here and she does have gate speed and all, she kind of draws the outside again. At the time that I made my picks, it was a full 10-horse field, so I didn't really like necessarily the post position she got. French Vodka is the way that I'm going to go in here. I think that she was really good on the end of it in his last start, and we've seen his ability before. It's there.
Yep.
We know that this horse is kind of a deep horse. He's had 2 qualifiers under his belt. Now 3 starts under his belt, and the last 2 he's progressively gotten better and better, and I think this last one he's really flashed it. I know he draws the rail in here tonight, but I still think that he's the one to beat.
Look, based on just talent alone from what we've seen body of work-wise, I completely agree with you, but Chris has been really conservative with French Vodka over the last few starts. Maybe he's just still trying to get his fitness up to par because it was his first start on November 28th, 24th since September. But I think tonight he might be ready for a bit more aggressive approach. Look, for me, Wise Queen Beth, you mentioned the draw. She had post 10 last time out, left out of there aggressively. I think from post 8, I think we'll see a similar tactic from Travis Henry. She was live, really live on the end of it. I mean, those other fillies were doing some trotting, and she certainly, did some trotting herself as well. So I think with a cleaner trip, she's going to be a factor. But I did include French Vodka because I did like the way he was moving last time out. I just think he's got to be situated maybe a bit sooner, because I think that he's a big-time player here. I think Stovid, obviously, one that we're going to see get involved early on tonight. Like I said, I mean, it's hard for me to kind of go back to with confidence, right? What was your assessment of that effort?
Of Stovid's? Yeah. I thought it was kind of weak.
Okay.
I thought
given she got everything her own way,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I thought Dougie did everything absolutely proper for her, and I think she should have finished it off, and she kind of let those horses go by her, So I think that she's still kind of, getting a little bit better greenness-wise. What about push to start? I threw him in for second. I know, it took him a while to get out of that maiden, but my goodness, he really is flashing some big speed here right now. Now with 2 scratches down to a field of 8, he's got to have the 5-hole now. He's going to be tough to leave off.
Still too green behind the car for me.
Yeah.
Still some greenness there. He doesn't go right up to it. He doesn't leave all that aggressively, but I think a horse that can pick up a big piece. You have to do it convincingly for me to win a maiden and move up to a non-winners of 2, and I think the non-winners of 2 has to be just an okay group. I think there's some good ones in here that have been sharp. So I didn't want to quite factor him in all that highly. Ellis Island, that was a sharp victory. Again, another one who's certainly improved since adding Lasix. Just moving up. That's my only concern. So tricky way to kick off that pick 6, because I'm going to rely on French Vodka as well as a YS Queen Beth. And those are 2 that Kevin Plouch is going to be factoring in as well, because he's going to go 4 deep. He's not going to try and take any chances. He's going to use the 4 that we mentioned here. Just one single from in race number 8, and he is going to go all into the 8-horse. can't fault him there. I mean, I went all in on Side Effects, but I think Catch Me Gracefully, one that I've backed in the past, and she raced super when she was here on the big track. I think if it's not Side Effects, I think it could be Gracefully adding Lasix tonight. Catch Me Gracefully, I should say.
Yeah. But isn't she, what race is that?
Race 8.
Race 8?
She's in with Side Effects.
Right, yeah. It's first start Lasix.
Yep.
Coming back over here. Yeah,
So
I got her in for 4th, in that one. But, yeah, it's going to be... Side Effects is going to be really tough to beat in there.
Yep, I'm intrigued by that one as well. I think the betting public certainly will be intrigued. So that was Kevin Plauch's Pick 6 ticket idea that you saw on screen. Randy and I will have our thoughts throughout the night as well. Again, really nice carryover opportunity to kick off this, or a part of this Monday night program. We're going to move on to race number 5. That's going to close out that early Pick 5. We've got a field of 10 here. Randy, look who's back at this claiming handicap level. It's going to be YYC on the horizon, who has raced quite well at this level. Tried his hand against Tougher to no avail, but still raced well in those tries. But how good's been Let's Get Rocked? He had no business winning last time.
Unbelievable. What a trip he went, eh? Unreal. And it seems like every time that I do use him in here, he gets the job done, and I'm not going to use him after that Herculean effort that he puts up last week. Because that was the thing, though, is I seen a few things out of him last week that I didn't necessarily like. The steppiness going into the first turn to kind of get him. There's a few things that I just didn't like, so I'm gonna try to play against him. You know what I mean? Which kills me there, because I love
use him every week.
I use him every week.
Yeah.
I love this guy, but there's a couple that I like a little bit more. Now, Code Cracker, he was huge on the end of it, and I think he took a little bit of an interference right on the end of it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the replay of that last start. Now, where I'm going is the 2-horse Flying Art. This one was driven by J.R. Plant last week, and Scotty Young is going to be picking up the drive for this Corey Fuller trainee this week. I thought that this guy was kind of sneaky good last week myself. And Code Cracker is going to come flying on the end of it, but right on the end of it, he's going to, there's a horse that's going to take a little bit of a dive towards him, and Travis is going to have to stop driving him. Now, I don't think it cost him the win, but I do think that he would have been better than 4th if he had, and the margin wouldn't have been a length. It probably would have been a quarter of a length or a half a length, but you guys see for yourselves. So let's roll last week's race. My top pick last week, 54-1, Flying Art. And we're going to see this right here going into this last turn. Again, I'm trying to show you the last turn to let you guys know that, in my opinion, these horses were not tired. Same as this one. Look at the hold that JR has on him. He's not chasing him. He's not bip-bopping around trying to get him to keep up. This horse is live all on his own. So this is about as good as it's going to work here now. JR is going to be stuck in here. Now he's going to move him slightly out to the outside, but he's just going to keep hitting wall after wall of horses. And I think at one point, JR just says, enough. It's just nothing's happening. Even at this point, he's still side to side, side to side. He's not chasing him. He's just looking for some place to apply it. And he finally gets down where there's a little bit of room, but you can just kind of tell by his body language. I mean, here's the race. There's 4, 5, 6 of them up ahead of you. I think he was better than it ended up being. I'm going to take a chance on him. Last week he was 54-1, much like Southwind Circuit that I showed earlier. And I'm going to try to take a little bit of a Christmas stab at this guy. Obviously Lone Wolf, and not only Lone Wolfing it, John, nobody's got him even on their top 4 selection. So I know I'm asking a little bit, maybe a little bit too much of Scotty Young in here, but another horse that maybe Corey Fuller wasn't real happy with the effort, you know what I mean? Because JR's drove this guy his last 3 starts, and this guy comes out with Scotty Young listed on him, not JR Plant.
Someone who's familiar with the horse as well, right? He's gotten driving assignment in the past on Flying Art, so I think Corey Fuller just hoping that Scott Young can deliver here at what is going to be a big number. You're going to get another big number on this guy. If you can deliver, you're going to get paid. So Flying Art, definitely one that not many people are going to be factoring in, but I think a lot of people are going to be going to Let's Get Rocked and YYC on the horizon. I think plenty to like with this Malik Smith trainee, given the fact that he's back at this level. And look at his last 2 starts here at this class. They were both trips to the winner's circle, and he did it really easily. Yeah, no doubt about that. Coming back to this class, it's going to make him tough in there. But again, though, you know what I mean? Like sometimes, we'll see. Okay.
We'll
All right,
see.
We'll see. All right. We're going to move on to race number 6. That's going to kick off that. Oh, race 8, I should say. Sorry.
Race 8.
Get my 6s and 8s. That's what jet lag might do to you, Randy. Race number 8. That's going to be the second last leg of that pick
Single.
6. Single city for you. Single city for me as well. And I
Has
think
to
it's going to
be.
be single city for potentially a lot of people. Side effects. You know what? I'm just solely using this filly based on the trainer change. Not that Murray Breather has done a poor job with her by any means. I mean, she just struggles to find the winner's circle right now. Sometimes just a new set of hands, a new barn might just do a horse wonders. I'm hoping that's going to be the case here with side effects. Not often you see Dave Maneri co-own a claimer, right? And this is one that he's going to be co-owning here alongside with Ryan Moorfield. So you've always liked this filly. She just needs to get there. Hopefully it's tonight.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like I was using her before the with the Maneri thing. I mean, look what she's doing. She's had 3 seconds in her last 4 and a 4th place third. That was basically a locked in trip. She just had no place to go. So I think she's been racing good. Dave's going to send in a bridle change on her. Can't see back to blinkers. My opinion, that's a lateral move. I think it's more or less the same kind of a bridle, unless the blinkers has holes in the back of them or they're cut back a little bit. To me, a can't see back in a set of blinkers or more or less a kind of a lateral kind of a move. But she is racing good. It's going to be a different situation. The other thing is too is that when she comes to race tonight, Maneri stable 20 minutes away. Murray's on the other side of Peterborough or around that area. Sunderland, I think it is. So, he's usually got an hour and a half or so ship to get them in here, and she might like the little shorter ship a little bit better too. But let's take a look at side effects. Picking up James McDonald tonight, 0 for 14 so far this year. But tonight might be the difference. So here we are with Jody. And like I said, this was for Murray Breather, her last start here. And I thought this was a good one. I think she's been trending to put herself into the winner's circle. And, she's going to have a really, really good chance at getting there tonight. She's been having to race against Mickey Six, Gucci Sealster, some pretty nice horses that she's had to face. Cold Creek, Aspero, so good kind of an effort. And like I said, here comes Jody. She's not going to get to Cold Creek Aspero, but she is going to come flying on the end of it. Billy Davis isn't going to make any ground on her, but she does make a little bit of ground on Cold Creek Aspero. So now moving into Maneri's barn, picking up James McDonald, I'm going to take a chance with side effects.
Cook the Books, one that I think is a big time player as well. I just don't know if she wants to get there right now. You mentioned it last week. I don't know if this is a filly who just wants to go buy horses. I thought last time out was living proof of that. She got a little bit steppy, more so than the starts prior, but I thought she was gonna go buy. Blue Star Sapphire, and she just. I don't know if she wanted to go by because that was a perfect steer by JR.
Yeah, usually I always found when I was driving there, if they started to throw steps in out of the blue right at the end of it, that meant because they didn't want to go by.
Okay.
They will find different ways, you know what I mean? They'll hook a line, they'll throw steps in. They'll just say, no, I won't do it. There are horses out there that for whatever reason, they just won't put themselves ahead of that last horse. Now, this goes back to the fact that they're pack animals, they're herd animals. There's always going to be, even from the time that they were babies out in the field, there's always going to be one or two that was always the leader of the pack. A lot of times those, some of these more docile kind of horses would always stay back from them, never pass them. That's just the way that instinct is with them. And sometimes you get at the odd horse like that, like a Cook the Books. But what's funny about her, though, is that if you move her to a different, like a smaller venue, a half-mile track or a 5/8 mile track, then she'll win. Maybe it's just she just doesn't like that big long stretch here.
But she will brush with the best of them at the head of the lane. I mean, if you give her one good run, I mean, she'll finish up with conviction. For whatever reason, I mean, some of those efforts, I mean, they were tough efforts. 2 starts back was a tough effort there that she put forth in a 3rd place try. Last time out, though, I mean, perfect steer, just a steer that I thought she would have been able to convert with. But Catch Me Gracefully, we mentioned her. I think she could be the biggest maybe foe or rival to Side Effects, I'd say, because this mare, I should say, starting to gain some confidence. And I'm intrigued to see her back on the big track, especially adding Lasix here.
The Lasix is a very enticing angle, no doubt about that. I had her in for 4th. I agree with you. I think that she's one that even if she doesn't do a big effort in here tonight, I think you want to pay attention to what she's doing.
All right, we're going to move on to race number 9. That's going to be the last leg of that pick 6. A field of 8 going postward here. More claimers, and I tell you what, I think there's a few in here that provide a little bit of intrigue. Strongman Hanover, really nice 2nd place effort last time out, Randy. I mean, how good has Dusty Lane Levi been? He trounced that group last time. I think Saturday had another big victory.
Yeah.
So he just keeps climbing up the class ladder, keeps delivering. But I tell you what, that was a good effort. But I tell you what, there's a couple of others in here that I think provide a little bit of intrigue. One in particular that came out of the same race as Strongman Hanover as well.
Yeah. Where did you go? What number?
I went to Strongman Hanover.
I got him in for second. I think that's logical on you. So let's talk to illogical Randy there and see what he's got cooked up. And where I'm going with this is here. So Abiding Art, the six horse in this race. So he comes in last week. And obviously you can see by the lines that he was coming in from Rito. A lot of breaks there. But he was racing free-legged, And his first start here, Murner puts the hobbles back on. Goes from free-legged to back on the hobbles. Now, obviously you would think that would help steady his gait. But sometimes, for whatever reason, a horse is faster without the hobbles. They don't like them. So they'll try harder without hobbles. So to me, it was a sit, wait, and see how he raced. And I liked the way that he raced. He's staying with the hobbles on. Obviously, you can see that. He's going to be racing the same with everybody else in here tonight. No free-legged status. So let's take a look at Abiding Art. And he's going to be my top pick in here. I loved the way that he raced for Louis and Gary Murner in his last start. And Louis is going to come right back to this guy again. So let's take a look at him sitting in the 3-hole right now, Abiding Art. And again, I thought that this is a really, really nice effort. He's not going to get a real good charge at them. But remember, too, this is second start in Murner's barn. So you would think that 2 weeks in the barn is just going to make him better. He's going to get used to his surroundings and everything. But again, at this point, Louis, still no place to go with this guy. And he's in tight quarters and the shoulders are back and there's nothing he can do about it at this point. Now, he is going to take a little bit of a duck down here and give him a bit of a whack. What's he going to do with it? And he is going to find a little bit more in here as well. And he's going to keep moving forward. So now this is going to be second week in Murner's barn with the hobbles on. I'm going to pull the trigger, John, and going to put this guy up on top. And I got a feeling I'm going to be. Oh no! I got who do we got? That's Kevin Plaucha.
Yeah.
Also likes Abiding Art in here tonight, and the legend himself, John Rollis, got him in for second.
It was a coin flip for me between the 3 and the 6. I really liked his effort last time out too, but ultimately I went to Strongman Hanover.
You don't miss anything, do you?
I try not to. Not very rarely.
Even if you're on planes and your flight's canceled and you're trying out for the Knicks, you don't miss nothing.
Well, that's why they invented Wi-Fi on planes, right? Sit back and watch all the replays you want to get yourself caught up for a big Monday night. Well, anytime carryover, I hear the word carryover, my ears perk up.
There
right?
you go.
So there you go. I have
but
to
he
be
did,
sharp.
It's good race though.
Very good race, very good effort. But one thing that I did miss is the free-legged part. See, you pointed that out. See,
go.
so I do miss some things. All right, to race number 9, that's going to close out that pick 6 sequence. We're going to move on to race number 10. That closes out this Monday night program. Really nice race to close things out. I love when there's a competitive race in that last leg of a multi-leg. Especially the pick 5. This is a great race, and you can make the case for half the field. You really could. Yeah. Manoa's one that's coming off a sharp victory. Veracruz coming in off a nice victory back at this same level. How about the way Flash Trap is racing? I'm curious to know where you went here in this spot.
Well, I agree with you. I think you can go a lot of different ways. I think there's so many horses in this race that are racing really, really good right now. But there's only one that really impressed me big time, and that's the 3-horse Manoa.
Okay.
I thought that last win was incredibly impressive. I don't like to normally show you guys replays where you can see it on the line that he just goes to the front and, the margin of victory gets a little bit more, all along. You can pretty well see that, but there's a way. Sometimes you got to show it because just the way that he did it. Now, he's going to be on top by 4 at the head of the lane. He's going to win by 2. I think it's just because he's been shut down the entire length of the stretch. 54 flat is nothing to this guy. So let's take a look at Manoa in his last start for Mark Etzel and Travis Henry. And, Travis raced this guy really, really good leading up to this in his 2 starts. Didn't overdo it with him at any time. And you could tell when he made that second move to the front last week, he knew this guy was going to be good. And this is what I mean. He's on top by 4 at the head of the lane. Is it a matter that he's weakening on the end of it? I don't see it that way. Look at the body language on Travis there. That's the first time that he's ever moved that whip up. And I don't even know if he touched it with him. I think he kind of, even though with the blind bridles, I think he just more or less let him see it. He touched him there a couple of times to move on. And again, the horse responded, So I just think he was so much the best. Since that race, he has missed a week. Since that race, Veracruz came out and absolutely jogged in this class in his last start. And he's going to come back. Going to throw him in for third. But to me, even though he was caught in that start, there was going to be no answers to Manoah.
I thought this was a really good buy by the new owners here from the Harrisburg mix sale. This is a nice little trotter, a really handy trotter. Just kind of clean gated. I really like the purchase, and I got a chance to speak with Travis Henry after his first career started. He felt the same way. He said he's only going to get stronger with his more efforts over the big track, but he was impressed with them too.
We've talked about this before because I think that you're just as big a fan of them, the way that they bring trotters along as I am, and that's the Lorenzens.
Big time.
The ones that they got this horse off of. They are I drove for them, and they are so good with their horses that when you get a horse like this, you're getting yourself a really nice horse.
Great people, hardworking people, and they've got quality trotters as well. They're a top trotting barn for a reason. Underrated.
Right.
They don't get the same pub as some of these other top trotting outfits, but I tell you what, the Lorenzens, they do a phenomenal job as well.
And really hard workers.
And you know what? This guy's pretty clean gated and a nice little horse, but give me a Yankee. I think that's one that is a bit of a bit intriguing here in this spot. He's taken on tougher company over in the U.S. This was one that we saw get a chance to make his career debut here at Woodbine Mohawk Park before he was sold, but one that I'm going to give top honors to in the finale. Maybe hope that he can provide a little bit of value there. But we're going to look at some pick 5 tickets now, early pick 5, and I'm curious to see what you did in leg number 1, because I know you were going to be all in on tie game initially.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what happens in leg number 1 for Randy. And no singles.
No, I couldn't find them in here.
Okay.
There is this, something I'm so...
You probably could have, but you didn't. You probably liked another one as well.
Yeah, more or less. Something, John? No, the only single I could find all night so far in my eyes was that Side Effects in race 8.
Okay.
So here we go with this opening one. It's just such a crapshoot with this one. I swear I wanted what's left here now. You know what I mean? Because I really don't know how they're going to race these. I can't really see it in my mind what kind of a trip we're going to get. So I filled up 3, 4, 5, and 8 is how I'm going to go in race number 1. And then in leg number 2, 3 deep as well, 2, 5, and 8, Southwind Circuit, Smiles for Miles, and Ambitious Mind for Gerard Demers and James. In race number 3, Chick Chock Rose, ready for landing. I know he ran in his last start, but I love the way he looked on the track. I'm willing to forgive that. He's still going to be my top pick in here. I think that he can come back with a nice effort in race number 4, 1 and 6, French Vodka. Push to start. That's going to be kind of a tough race. And race number 5, I'm staying with Flying Art and Code Cracker is the way that I'm going to go in my pick 5. I'm not going to use Let's Get Rocked in there and a couple of the other ones that I like as well.
I don't mind the approach that you're taking. I know a more expensive ticket than you're normally accustomed to. If you're going to have some home run hits, like possibilities in there, by all means. I mean, you're not using them along with the you're pitching some of those main contenders that's the way to do it, right? And I was going to say,
this is a nice ticket.
It's cheap. It was probably $24. I had tie game on there as well, but I'm going to be all in on JBR's filly in the opener. I didn't see enough from anybody else in here that kind of stood out to me. I'll tell you one horse that I'm intrigued with in the opener, Stormont Full of Life. I think if he trots, I think he's a big time contender, but we're going to go all in on Chick Chock Rose. The last leg, I'm going to use the same 2 contenders that most people are going to be using. Let's Get Rocked and YYC on the horizon. I just can't make the case for anybody else, for me personally, just yet. But I'm going to use 3 deep in leg number 2. So, look, hopefully JBR can kick off the pick 5 with a victory. I know that you'd be happy with that as well. And
yes.
Certainly would help me as well. So, cheap little cost there, $12 ticket. But my pick 6 ticket, I decided to spend a little bit more. And why not? Because that's a sequence worth spending for. And we're going to look at your pick 6 ticket, though. Randy, I believe, coming up first. And there it is, $96 ticket. with a nice little carryover, and let's go through your sequence here.
Okay, so again, race number 4. So went with the 1-6 French vodka and pushed to start in there. Race number 5, you had to go 4 deep in that one. Like I said, I'm using Flying Art because I think that if I can get him across, I'm going to knock a lot of tickets out. But I mean, you know, this is a big guess. You know, I can't guess every single race. So 6th race, I bring it back down to 2 and 6. Will's Watching is going to be my top hill play in here. Later on, we're going to talk about this Boot Hill Hootie moving from Daryl Thiessen to Josh McKibben. This one's intriguing. And again, I can't really leave him off, you know. So I went Will's Watching and him. And then in race number 7, it's going to be 3 deep again. Faithful Charlie Cheeks, who I'm going to go back to, and Florida Guy in there. Race 8 is that single that I like, Side Effects. And then race number 9, I'm going to go 3 and 6 in there, Strongman Hanover and Abiding Art. All
right, there's a look at your ticket, and we're going to pop up my ticket on screen there. Faithful's going to be my single in race number 7. I really liked Faithful. She was awesome last time out. I think if she gets any air or finds a seam, I think she's getting her picture taken last week. So hopefully she can navigate the rail cleanly off the car. And I think that she's going to have a good shot to convert. Race number 8, I'm all in with you on Side Effects, Randy. You mentioned that horse that Daryl Thiessen's going to be driving, the one that he owns.
Talk about that race 6 here. You went 4 deep.
Went 4 deep. I mean, like I said, I took a stand on a couple of singles. I decided to not get too cute in race number 6. Boot Hill Hootie is going to be my top selection there. I'm really, really intrigued by him. I tell you what, he was going to get the job done at Flamborough if he didn't put in steps. Yeah. Without a doubt, he was going to be a winner. And he's shown some go over his last few starts. I think he's going to love the longer stretch tonight personally, because if he gets that chance to stretch his legs, I think he's going to go by them all. And ever since Josh McKibben has brought back horses like J-Port Cash and a few of these other ones, you see him in the winner's circle a lot. Yep. So, you know what I mean? And he's in the winner's circle a lot with Daryl Thiessen. So in this case, you know, maybe Daryl said, hey, listen, I'm not having the luck with this guy. I own him. I'm not having the luck that I want. I'm going to give him to Josh for a minute. And, you know, we've always said, right, different set of eyes. Absolutely. All right, there's some Pick 6 ticket ideas there. You might see our tickets at some point during the broadcast on screen. And like I said, in what is a pretty good sequence, but I think it's a pretty solid card overall, Randy. And let's look at your plays board here tonight. Yeah, mine are coming with this, basically the second half of the card. So race 5, worth a look, is going to be Flying Art. Beat the favorite in race number 7. I'm going to go back to Charlie Cheeks. I like the way he was trotting in his last, a lot better. In my all-in's going to be Side Effects, that first time Minari angle. And Waple's Watch is going to be Abiding Art in race number 9. All right, there's a look at Randy's picks. My top selections are going to be my all-in Chick Chalk Rose, my value Wise Queen Beth, my best bet Faithful, my pick 6 single Side Effects. So there's Randy's thoughts. There's my thoughts. We're going to look at some other resident handicappers and their selections here. Kevin Ploucha, best bet Chick Chalk Rose. Garnet Barnsdale's spot play Catch Me Gracefully. Ghislaine Piquet Murner, try number 2 Abiding Art. So a lot of us on board with that Gary Murner trainee as well. They're going to be on track momentarily here. Again, a great Monday night program. 10 races, competitive ones at that. Some good multi-leg wagering opportunities, including a carryover. So we're going to be here all night long, and we're going to be taking you through tonight's action. Good luck.